Welcome, and thank you for participating in Winona State University's Financial Wellness Programming. Learning the skills necessary to effectively manage your own money and finances will not only be important to you now that you're off on your own in college, but will also serve as lasting skills to set you up for a future of financial success. WSU's Financial Wellness Program features information and activities designed to help you find effective means to pay for college, budget your own personal finances, and assist you in developing responsible habits. This session will focus on paying for college for future and current students. If you have the ability, I do encourage you to follow along on your computer or mobile device. How are you paying for college? Do you have enough money? And what about financial aid? These all might be questions that you ask yourself as you begin a new year at college. You'll want to start by reviewing a list of the steps found at winona.edu/money. To begin, let's head to this website. Once on the site, click Paying for College to access a list of steps that you should go through each year. The first step will be to determine your cost of attendance. Once you've done that, you will want to find sources of funding. Finally, you'll want to determine your remaining costs and payments. After you've done so, you'll want to check your semester bill each term to make sure it is accurate and that your payments have been applied correctly. When you are all said and done, you'll be able to celebrate a successful college budget. Let's begin by determining your cost of attendance. Each year, you'll want to preview your costs of attendance to get a good estimate as to what your expenditures will be for the semester and upcoming school year, well before you plan to actually attend. To do this, you can start by visiting two websites. The first will be winona.edu/billing. The billing website provides students with information on our Winona campus tuition and fees, as well as our Rochester campus tuition and fees. Once clicking on each link, you'll be able to see the resident and non-resident tuition and fee rates per semester. Another site to frequent is winona.edu/financial-aid/cost. The Financial Aid Cost of Attendance website allows students to see a breakdown of potential costs that they may see on their student bill. Each year provides students a breakdown of non-resident and resident costs for tuition, fees, laptop and technology, as well as room and board. Some additional expenses that you'll want to be sure that you plan for include books and supplies, transportation, some personal spending money, and loan fees. You can get a finalized cost of attendance figure by reviewing your semester bill online via your student e-services account. A semester bill is generated for each enrolled student approximately 1 month prior to the beginning of each term. However, by planning ahead, you should know what to expect on your bill well before the semester begins. Again, if you are following along on your own device, I encourage you to review your semester bill along with me. Let's start by visiting the e-services site. To access the student e-services site from any Winona State webpage, simply scroll to the top of the page, find the Resources tab, and then click on the e-services quick link. Once on the e-services page, you will need to log in by clicking the Login button on the left-hand side of the screen. Here you will enter your STAR ID and password. Once logged into the e-services site, you'll want to access the links over on the left-hand side. Scrolling down, you will find the Bills and Payment tab. Clicking the Bills and Payment tab brings up the account balance by institution. Here you will see Winona State University as your listed school, as well as the current balance of your student account. If you do see additional schools listed under here, do not worry. These will appear if you have applied or even attended another Minnesota State university. Simply reviewing the balance of your student account, however, is not always enough. In order to see a breakdown of all the charges and payments made towards your account, click on the balance number next to your school of choice. This will bring up the account detail screen where you can see a term-by-term breakdown of each charge and payment made on your student account. To see this breakdown, simply click on the PDF symbol next to each term. Once you have opened up the PDF of your bill, you will just want to verify that you have the correct term. This is always displayed towards the top of the bill. Over on the left-hand side of the bill, you will see a list of charges. These charges should reflect the various cost of attendance items that we previously discussed, including tuition, student fees, room and board, and even books if the student decided to charge those to the account. Be sure to review your bill each semester to ensure its accuracy. For example, you will want to verify that you have been charged the correct tuition rate. Over on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see a list of payments that have been made towards the account. These payments could have been made with cash, check, card, and even could include financial aid that has been received and accepted and dispersed towards the bill. The charges minus the payments will then give the student their overall remaining balance left to be paid. Now that you have determined your cost of attendance, the next step is to determine how you will pay for these expenses. As you may recall, the next step in the Paying for College checklist is finding your funding. Paying for college can be daunting, but we're here to help you find sources of funding to help you cover your expenses. A great first step is to apply for financial aid by completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. The FAFSA is your first step towards securing federal and state grants, student loans, student employment, and much more. Let's start by visiting fafsa.gov. You will need to complete a new FAFSA each school year in order to determine your eligibility for federal and state grants, work study, or student loans. If you are having troubles completing your FAFSA or are not sure if it has been received by Winona State, please visit the Warrior Hub on the second floor of Maxwell Hall. Once your FAFSA has been received and reviewed, you will receive your financial aid award letter. This will allow you to determine your remaining costs. Simply subtract your financial aid received from your expenses to discover your remaining balance. The remaining balance is what you will need to find a way to pay yet to WSU. If the balance remaining is manageable to pay out of pocket, then great. This is a wonderful situation. However, if you are finding yourself unable to cover the remaining balance out of pocket, there are some additional steps or methods that you can try to pay the remaining balance. For more information, please visit the Warrior Hub. You can check the status of your financial aid on your student e-services. If following along, let's check your financial aid status together. To review the status of your financial aid, return to the e-services page. Over on the left-hand side, you'll want to find the Financial Aid tab. The Financial Aid status screen gives you an overview and a snapshot of where you're at in the financial aid process. The first step you'll always want to take is to ensure that you are viewing the correct award year. The first step in the financial aid process is to file your FAFSA. Once your FAFSA has been filed, Winona State will receive and review your FAFSA. Occasionally at this point, additional information may be required from you. You will always be able to review a list of items that are being requested, or you can stop by the Warrior Hub and check with a financial aid counselor. The third step is where the financial aid staff puts together a list of awards and various amounts that you are eligible to receive for the next school year. The fourth step is for you to review this award and respond by letting us know which types of aid and how much you do wish to accept. The fifth and final step in the financial aid process is the disbursement of these funds towards your student account. Once you have finished reviewing where you are at in the financial aid process, it is always a good idea to next click the Awards tab. This tab provides you with a breakdown of the different types and amounts of financial aid that have been offered to you in the coming semesters. Let's review the different types of financial aid that you may see appear on your award letter. One type of financial aid that you might see on your award letter is a grant. Grants are referred to often as free money, since they do not need to be repaid. Grants are similar to scholarships in that regard. Scholarships, however, are often based on merit, such as grades, talents, and other skills. Grants, on the other hand, are based on need, and therefore you must qualify for grants based on your FAFSA. There is no application for a grant. The federal Pell Grant is one type of grant that is provided by the federal government. Another grant is the State of Minnesota grant. These are the two most common types of grants that you may see appear on your award letter. Since grants are considered free money, it is assumed that all students, if offered a grant, would want to accept it. Therefore, Winona State automatically accepts all grants on your behalf. No further action is needed on your part to accept any grants that have been offered. Another type of financial aid that you may see appear on your award letter is the federal direct loan. Federal direct loans come in one of two forms, the subsidized and the unsubsidized. The subsidized is the better of the two in that it does not accrue interest while the student is enrolled in college at least half time, which at Winona State is considered 6 credits. Once the student is done with school, whether that be graduation, withdrawal, or simply taking a semester off, the loan will begin to then accrue interest. The unsubsidized loan is the exact opposite. This loan begins to accrue interest beginning the day that it is dispersed to the student's account. Since loans are not as desirable as grants and scholarships, not all students may want to or need to take out a loan. Therefore, Winona State will not accept a loan on your behalf. In order to accept an offered loan, you will need to complete a few additional steps, which we will discuss in a moment. Another type of financial aid that you may see on your award letter is work study. Work study is just one of the ways that students can get a part-time job on campus and earn extra money towards their expenses. Students, however, must qualify for work study based on their FAFSA. Don't worry if you have not qualified for work study, as you can still work a job on campus. Finally, the last type of financial aid that you may see appear on your award letter is optional or alternative loan eligibility. These loans are extra or supplementary loans to the subsidized and unsubsidized federal loans. Students are first encouraged to use their full subsidized and unsubsidized loans before looking to borrow an optional or alternative loan. At this point in time, this line on your award letter simply tells you that if you should find yourself short in covering your bill and are still in need of additional aid, you can apply for an optional or alternative loan to help cover these remaining expenses. It is important to note, however, that students will need to complete a loan application with one of the optional or alternative lenders to initiate the borrowing process, and in most cases will need to have a cosigner. Students should only use optional alternative loans after all other sources of aid and financing have been exhausted, because these loans will come with much higher interest rates and typically unfavorable repayment terms when compared with the federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans. If you're interested in the optional and alternative loan programs and are interested in learning more information, please contact the Warrior Hub to learn more about the different types and application procedures. As you may recall earlier, I mentioned that grants and scholarships are automatically accepted for students if they have been awarded them. Loans, on the other hand, need to be formally accepted in order for them to pay out towards the student's account. To accept your federal subsidized or unsubsidized loans, you'll want to click the Loans tab on the eServices menu. This will bring up the loan application screen. The loan application consists of 4 parts that must be completed before the loan will be considered accepted. The first page lists 2 pre-requirements that all first-time borrowers must complete, which are entrance loan counseling and signing your Master Promissory Note, or MPN. Both of these requirements can be completed online at studentloans.gov. Once on this page, you will log in using your FAFSA username and password. Entrance counseling is essentially a tutorial that explains the federal loan program and how to effectively budget and determine your borrowing needs. The MPN is your legal contract which you must sign agreeing to the terms and conditions of your federal loan. Once you have completed both entrance counseling and signed your MPN, the corresponding boxes will be checked. You can then advance to the next tab. The next tab is the loan amount page. Here you will see a table that illustrates the loan types and amounts offered for each term. It is at this point where you will need to determine how much you would like to borrow in your federal loans. You can choose the total amount offered or a reduced amount. Based on your planning, you should already know how much you will need to borrow as you have reviewed your costs. Once you have made your selection, you will advance to the next screen, which is the summary page. Here you will want to confirm the loan amount and the period for the loan. You will also want to review the terms and conditions, check that you have read the terms and conditions, and then finally hit the blue Submit Loan Application button. This application request will then be sent to the financial aid office to process and get your loans ready to pay out towards your student bill. Again, once your financial aid has been fully awarded and accepted, you can simply take your expenses for the semester and subtract off your financial aid. The remaining balance is what is still left to be paid to Winona State. If the balance remaining is manageable to pay out of pocket, then great, this is the best option. However, if you are finding yourself unable to cover the remaining balance out of pocket, there are some additional ways you can pay off this remaining cost, such as exploring the optional or alternative loans. For more information on these options, please visit the Warrior Hub. Now that you have determined your cost of attendance and have found ways to pay for schooling, it is important to ensure that everything is applied according to plan. Again, each semester, it is important to review your student bill to ensure its accuracy and to make sure that your financial aid has been paid towards your bill. If you review your bill and do not see any financial aid being applied in the payments column, it is probably a sign that you have not fully accepted your aid or there is a slight holdup. In this case, you'll want to contact the Warrior Hub to clear this up and to make sure your financial aid pays towards your expenses. Once your financial aid has been applied to your student bill, you may or may not have a remaining balance on your account left to pay. If you do have a balance left to pay, you will need to make personal payments according to the payment schedule found online at winona.edu/billing or at the payment links above. If you are not able to afford the remaining expenses out of pocket, it may be time to contact the Warrior Hub to explore additional financial aid options. The last step then will be to celebrate your successful college payment budget. You determined your costs, financial aid, remaining costs, and plan to make any additional payments. Your costs and available financial aid should not be a mystery to you if you take these planning steps seriously every school year and each term.